Hey everyone, you're watching DeFi Talks with DeFi Dad. Hey everyone, it is Monday, January 31st, 2022, and I'm here with Alexander Wu, who is the co-founder of Utopia Labs. We're going to continue with, I'll say it's an unintentional series on DAO tooling. So last week we got to talk with the folks from Syndicate DAO about how you can create investment clubs on chain with Syndicate. And today we're going to focus on a use case that is badly needed for all DAOs. If DAOs are, I actually just tweeted something like this, but if DAOs are the future digital LLC, which I think we all believe them to be if you're here in Web3, it's going to be necessary for you to be able to run, call it a payroll, whatever it is. You need to be able to pay your contributors to the DAO. And so I'm excited to kind of walk through Utopia with Alex. They just launched their beta dApp, which allows you to run payroll and also manage expenses. So Alex, thanks for joining me. Congrats on the launch. How are you doing?
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's been great. We just launched today, and it's just been, a pretty busy week last week trying to get some last minute things shipped and make the product really good. But yeah, I think we're pretty comfortable. I think we're all really, really proud of where the product is today. We've been kind of building in kind of private beta over the past few months, working with the key customers and really getting, their insights and iterating on that. And now I think it's in a really good place where I think a lot of DAOs can find a lot of value out of it. So that's why I kind of launched it publicly.
You have to remind me, when did you guys all come together as co-founders and start working on this? Because it feels like it was yesterday, but it was, gosh, does it go back to the summer 2021 or fall?
Yeah, honestly, it feels like everything has gone super fast. We officially started at the beginning of September last year. So it's only been around 4 months really that we've been kind of building together.
That's it. And you guys have a really, I think you have that, I'm going to say it's unique, but it's a story that we're all familiar with where a number of you dropped out of school to work on this. Tell me more about your background and your co-founders and how you guys got started on Utopia.
Yeah, for sure. So what kind of happened was we got connected through a bunch of hackathons, and a bunch of mutuals kind of introduced us together. So we started building things at hackathons, various hackathons throughout the year, and we just kind of really enjoyed building with each other and enjoyed jamming on new ideas. So after a couple of hackathons, we still kind of stayed in touch. We would talk maybe once a week, and then as things got more more developed, we started talking twice a week, and then 3 times a week, and then every other day, and then every day, to the point where we're super passionate about building something together and kind of exploring deeper into DAOs. And yeah, I think we were all super committed to this idea, and then once we actually raised, we all had the conviction and to just kind of all jump ship from what we were doing previously. So previously, Kaito, Pryce, and I were in school, so we all took that leap and decided to drop out. And Jason was previously working at big tech, and he also took that leap and kind of left that job to join us too. So yeah, it was a lot of just kind of jumping feet first into Web3.
Tell me a little bit about your guys' background in terms of crypto. I'd love to know, you're all very, very young. At least you're young relative to me. Tell me more about what was your entry into crypto? What kind of drew you in? Because it's important. It's important to, I think, highlight everyone's story around this. You have to always remind yourself this space is about continually growing the pie, luring more developers and builders into the space. But yeah, do you recall how you or any of your other co-founders got into crypto?
Yeah, I think for us, for me personally, I started going more into crypto in 2017, 2018, during that kind of bull run. And I was, kind of learning more, like doing the tech, but it was mostly kind of just like speculation and the day trading and whatnot. I think Jason and Kaito and Pryce had similar things. I think they might have been more into the tech as well. But then I guess after that bull cycle ended, I guess just got caught up with other things, with other tech and other schools and whatnot. And then I guess recently, I think it's mostly during DeFi summer, where I think I became very, very interested in this application again, just because I saw some real kind of impactful tech, through a lot of the DeFi protocols that exist today. And I was like, oh, great. I think there's actually, a lot of potential in this. And started digging more into, what the entire world of Web3 means, and, all these different technologies and all these different applications. And that's kind of how I came to get involved in it. But I think Pryce, Jason, and Kaito have similar stories as well, in terms of timeline. But I think all of us really share this belief of we want to open up these opportunities to kind of everyone in the world. I think in Web3 it's a very decentralized, very open space for people to join. There aren't that many barriers as there are with traditional financial institutions in terms of getting a credit card approved or something like that. So I think that's why we're all really passionate about space. We kind of really want to open up this opportunity to as many people as possible.
Alex, tell me more about when did you guys have this idea for Utopia? Because I do want to remind everyone that while it's January 2022, I think if you went back to just the summer 2021, which is just like 6 months ago, we were starting to see more joining DAOs because DeFi had grown a lot, especially since summer 2020 and before that. But then also we were seeing like a growth within the NFT community. And so, and I'm going to broadly paint everything as a DAO here. Obviously, some of these are Discords where it's not truly a DAO, but we'll just call them decentralized communities. And then within those decentralized communities, like a business, you start to see certain contributors rise up in this space and become like full-time contributors who, rightfully need to make like a living. And that actually was pretty foreign to most in the space until I want to say, it feels like it was like a quarter ago. Like suddenly there were more DAOs that were, officially launching, more committing to working full-time for DAOs than ever before. And I even want to say like there's credit that should be given to some within the community who really framed that like 2021 having been an exciting year for NFTs and DeFi, that 2022 would be more about the rise of DAOs, which is something I think we've all heard for many years. It seems like it's finally coming true. So I do recognize that, you guys have been a little bit ahead of the curve. And so anyways, tell me more about like, how did you come up with this idea? Like what was the light bulb moment that like, hey, we should be building this thing?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think you put it in a really great way of thinking about it. Because I think the blockchain and that technology has applications in many different areas, right? We've seen kind of that in currencies and in crypto. We've also seen it in financial tools and DeFi, and now digital ownership and NFTs. And I think that at least for us, we were really looking at like I feel like its impact on cooperation was still very nascent when we started to get into it, but we definitely saw like a potential for it to kind of change the way we do things, especially given the fact that we can kind of maybe have a Turing complete machine in terms of governance, in terms of operations, and what that impact looks like. I think we're still trying to figure that out, but I do think there's a lot of potential in that space. And so how we kind of started the company was basically we were just talking to a lot of DAOs because we were just very curious about what they were doing and how they were operating, and trying to see if there's any part we can play to help them scale better, help them be more efficient, kind of provide an infrastructure layer or some support for them. And as you mentioned earlier, DAOs kind of are definitely on a spectrum of like decentralized versus centralized, crypto native versus kind of like traditional companies that use crypto, as I'd said. So
yeah,
what we noticed is across any of these spectrums, it seems like all DAOs had trouble with like paying people, which was kind of surprising. And that's kind of like how the MVP of our product came to take form. Really, it was just the fact that all these DAOs, who have maybe billions of dollars locked in value, and paying these tens of contributors, they were still using Google Sheets or having some way like complex, frictionful process where one person needs to dedicate like 10 hours at the end of the month to pay everyone, and that just seemed super inefficient to me. And it seems like we could design a very easy product that can help tackle that issue. That's kind of where we our first entrance into the space, and we just kind of build a solution for that, and sort of onboarding a lot of DAOs, and they found it useful too. So we kept on iterating, kept on building the product until where we have now, where we think it's a really good way to pay your contributors, and instead of having to track multiple Google Sheets and coordinate with people and send 10 different Discord messages. I think we've built a pretty easy solution.
Yeah, it's funny to me that so there's parallels to the old world of software that are very familiar for me. And I worked with like project management software in the past, and even like softwares that would handle payroll. And it's just a huge market. I mean, globally, there's so many different softwares and so much competition amongst those softwares to serve, we'll just say businesses, whether it's a small business or like an enterprise. And it's nuts because like, I have to say, like, I never like fully believed that DAOs would replace all of that until more recently. As much as I'm on the bandwagon, clearly here, I believe Web3 is the future. I just until recently, always sort of question that, or like maybe it's like way farther out. But once you start to see people working together, no matter where they are in the world, and having to rely upon cryptocurrencies, and having to rely upon like the trust to be able to be paid for their time and effort by a tokenized community. I mean, suddenly you start to realize, hey, I mean, there's some new primitives here, but a lot of the same sorts of concepts exist. There's one of the most important resources is just people, and they have a scarce amount of time, and so you have to ultimately pay those contributors for that time. And it's just, I mean, it feels like now any protocol that's launching, I'm thinking, all right, well, you're going to have a core team, right? Whatever, to me, a core team is just whoever spends, their full time sort of working on the protocol. And those core team members are going to expect to get paid, unless I guess they're co-founders and hold some unimaginable amount of tokens. So it's a use case that I'm hoping more here discover just by watching us live stream or screen share the dApp in a second. Because if you're paying out of a spreadsheet, or if you're just keeping notes, it's a really it's just a very disorganized way to operate something that obviously in some cases controls humongous treasuries. So I guess, Alex, do you think now is a good time to start screen sharing? Like, I'd love to like walk through the dApp. Also, too, we might start off on just the homepage, just to kind of like walk through what's there. Actually, I take that back. What? Just hop into the dApp. The homepage doesn't. I don't think it has anything else that you wouldn't see in the dApp.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm sharing my screen right now. Just let me know if you can see that.
Absolutely. Yeah, here we go. Cool. Okay, so we are on so this is, in case anyone wants to follow this is at utopialabs.com. But yeah, kind of walk us through what we're looking at here. And then when you switch, I'll just make sure that we're still screen sharing the dApp.
Yeah, for sure. So this is our kind of homepage, and I'll kind of give you a demo of what the actual app looks like. So as with most apps, we use wallet sign-in, so you'll be able to authenticate through your wallet only. And once you choose the nodes safe that you want to be associated with your DAO, you're kind of presented with our core product here. I think maybe one flow that that we've noticed a lot of DAOs have is this idea of getting payment requests, and we kind of saw that a lot of DAOs have this really complicated process. They would have some maybe Airtable form that they fill out, or Google form, or maybe they just DM on Discord and they log in a spreadsheet. And to us, that was very frictionful. So we designed this kind of process where you can kind of share this link with anyone. You can paste it in your Discord, and once you visit this link, you'll be able to actually submit a request. So our DAO is named Use for Mainnet Test, unfortunately, but this would have your DAO name here, and you can go ahead and submit some sort of request for any contributor. So yeah, I'll just go on ahead and fill in this form. And one thing as well we've be able to support is this idea of having kind of fiat-based amounts. So a lot of people can request in token amounts, but if you want to pay out ETH, for example, it'd be hard to. A lot of people prefer to be denominated in some fiat. So you can say, I want to be paid in 1,000 USD of some token. I guess the only token we have here is YGG. So you can say I want to be paid 1,000 USD instead of just 1,000 or whatever that is converted to the actual token amount. And then we obviously provide some form of metadata here to kind of give some context to each transaction. So you can say that this is a contributor compensation for engineering part-time. You can have a project here, and
reminds me a lot of like Expensify, just or Gusto, if anyone's ever used those. The idea here is the same. You create a request to get paid. I love the fact too that you can request it in like a fiat amount versus the token, because if the markets get bloody, you might request it in a fiat amount.
Yeah, for sure. So this is kind of one of our flows that we've noticed that DAOs find very, very useful. It's just this ability to kind of share this link and have anyone submit a payment request. And then, as you can see, once you submit that, you'll see this on your request page, and you can also just kind of create your own request here. And the idea of this is like you can collect all these requests from anyone you really want to pay. And then once you collect these requests, you can have your admins, whoever that may be for the DAO, go through and be able to approve or just reject these requests. So let's just for the sake of this demo. Yeah.
Oh no, Alex, for those that would submit a payment request, then do you expect that they'll have access to this then, or is there like a portal or like a contact form to submit that? I mean, I recognize what you just walked us through. Just thinking about like, is that, is this something that would be available then to like anyone who normally gets paid?
Yeah, for sure. So this is kind of like a public link that is tailored to your DAO. And once you share this link, anyone with
there we go. Cool. There we go. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Okay, good. That's all familiar. So awesome. What about I see the recurring payments would that be, or actually don't let me stop you from, is there anything else there under requests we should cover? Because I realize that's kind of like expenses or like one-off types of jobs that you do in a DAO.
Yeah, we've seen this used, for bounties, for expenses, for contract work. But yeah, I'll go through the rest really quickly. It's pretty basic. You would accept a request if you think, it's good. And then from here, you can actually, bulk pay them. So you'll be able to, if I just quickly, I guess, submit another one.
But this is the first time I've seen all this. Hopefully if anyone's ever like watched anything on my YouTube channel here, it's not like set up to be a charade of bullshit. I really have not seen any of this live. This is so cool to see it like all coming together finally.
Yeah, funny enough, I think the last time we presented the product to you, it might have been a Figma mock-up that looks very, very
it was. And it wasn't that long ago either. No, it's wild. It's so cool, man. Yeah, I'm just excited for you guys.
Yeah, I think one thing we noticed that a lot of people, paying multiple requests through Gnosis is something that we were asked a lot for. So being able to group payments to multiple wallets for multiple currencies, for multiple amounts, all in one transaction. So if I click this, it'll basically create a transaction on Gnosis that pays Alex this much and pays Jason this much. As you can see, we kind of calculated how much 1,000 USD of YGG was here, and this will kind of execute that payment automatically. well, sorry, no, not automatically. It'll execute that payment on Gnosis, and then you have to sign and go through Gnosis's execution to be able to actually execute that transaction.
Really cool. So you would once you hit that confirm and create that, then you would follow up on Gnosis. That basically by doing that creates the I don't we don't have to do it here, but does that that would open up a window to Gnosis Safe?
Yeah, exactly. I can probably just create it actually. I think this safe is already cluttered with test transactions. So you would sign this as a multi-sig, and then once you've created that, I can visit my history here, and you can see these two transactions that payments that I just created a transaction for, and you can go and sign on Gnosis, and you'll be able to see all the transactions that we have in queue for our safe here, which will be a lot of transactions. But let me see
Very
if I
cool.
can.
Yeah. If anyone
Eventually,
hasn't
actually,
used Gnosis, oh no, sorry, Alex, what were you saying?
sorry, I just want to add that eventually we're actually going to incorporate our own signing page. So right now you have to go to Gnosis to sign, but a lot of customers have told us,
That's cool. That's what I was wondering. Like, could you take that workflow and put it within the dApp? If anyone hasn't used Gnosis Safe, just all you need to know is normally when we refer to a multi-sig in DAOs, there's multiple signers, which means like if we were going to pay Alex 1,000 USDC, before that can be sent, you have to get let's say 3 of 5 signers to approve, and then once that happens, someone can execute the transaction. So this is what normally happens behind the scenes in a real DAO. If it's truly decentralized and controlled by a token, this is how it's supposed to work.
Yeah. So a lot of I think basically Gnosis Safes are basically the de facto standard for any DAO, because it allows to kind of spread the trust among multiple people for the DAO's funds, instead of having one person be in control of it. And so I guess a lot of customers have told us, this UI signing page is a bit confusing, so we're building our own actually. So you'll be able to kind of see all the data here about this is basically our transaction that was created. We're making a call to the Gnosis Safe multi-send contract, which will kind of execute all the payments that we've shown here.
Wow. I know the Gnosis Safe guys are probably super excited for that too. Just it's such an important tool at this point. I've been kind of surprised less have built with Gnosis Safe or kind of built their own UI around that. But Alex, anything else here to point out on the request side? Like we created a request, we submitted it to Gnosis Safe. We would then execute it, and then it would show up here. Where does it show up after you execute?
Yeah, after you execute, it shows up on history here, so you can see all the transactions that you've made in the past, and you can kind of view details on it. And eventually, what we really want to do is kind of provide analytics and financial analysis on your transactions, so you can actually see, like how did the DAO spend its money last month? What was some of the costs that it had, and how that could be analyzed.
That's really cool. I mean, that could be, that's exciting, because then you could start to look in real time, and hopefully this would all be then public for anyone to be able to say hey, the DAO has spent X amount on operating expenses over the past month. That's really cool. One last thing there I think we hadn't covered is recurring payments. Does that refer to someone who would be on, like a salary, or, let's pretend you get paid every 2 weeks or twice a month?
Yeah, for sure. So that's kind of the most popular use case that we've seen for the recurring payments is, DAOs who have kind of salary contributors who are kind of being paid, a fixed sum every month or every 2 weeks. And this is a very, very similar flow as before. I'll just run through it quickly because you kind of see this UI before. But let's say I get paid 1,000, say once a month. I want to execute it, on the last day of the month, for example. So I can just say, let's say I started on January 1st, and it is a contributor compensation, full time, and let's do engineering. So once I actually create this request, You can kind of see the payments that'll be generated. So there's going to be one payment that's going to be generated on January 31st, February 28th, March 31st, etc. And every month, basically, you can go ahead and pay your contributors. So right now, these recurring payments don't execute automatically. So an operator will have to come back and actually execute these, every month or whenever they do their payroll. But we are looking into obviously making it automatic. So that should be coming soon as well.
This is cool. So right now, if you think about everything as a payment request, you're creating a payment request that just regenerates, so you don't have to keep track of who's being paid during what times of the month. Yeah, this is also cool because I want to say, is it called Superfluid? That is like a protocol for recurring payments, and you can do all sorts of really cool stuff. And so that as those protocols develop, that will benefit Utopia. Utopia will benefit it. I think there's lots of synergy there to play off of. Anything else here, Alex, that we should walk through? I think we've just about covered it all.
Yeah, honestly, this is I think those are the two key things. I think maybe one other small feature is just being able to add multiple people to kind of manage your account. So here, not only can the multi-sig be able to access this dashboard, but you can add someone else. You can add someone who's not a multi-sig to be able to kind of access this dashboard and be able to create requests, create recurring payments, edit that stuff. So this allows DAO operators that may not necessarily be multi-sig an owner, be able to kind of still do operations work here.
So with this tool, is there any sort of traditional customer support? Like normally if someone said, I sent a payment to the wrong address, like we all know by now, like, okay, that's on me. No one can save me from making a mistake on chain. But yeah, I guess, is there anything to point out here that you guys as the Utopia team can assist with? Or, basically if someone starts using this, if they had trouble, like something was buggy, what sorts of stuff do you guys have access to that they should contact support about?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, I think what we really, really pride ourselves in is having a very, very good customer service, I think. So, having all the customers that use our product right now have a very white glove approach. We're constantly messaging them. They have a direct line. Anything goes wrong, they can message us and we'll reply within, minutes, if not, a few hours. And we really want to help every DAO kind of solve the problem. I mean, that's kind of why we exist. We really want to help them scale and be able to manage, thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of people as easily as it is managing 10 or 5. So yeah, we're really, really kind of dedicated to that. And we have this basically contact support intercom integration here, where if you message us, we actually have these rolling cycles where everyone on our team is going to be, there's always going to be someone active, in most of the day. So you'll be able to text here and then we'll automatically be able to help you. So yeah, we really pride ourselves in the white glove approach, being able to work closely with our customers, as well as figure out what else that we can help them with.
Okay, so given you guys just launched this today, now the floodgates are open, so anybody can go to, let me put the link up here. Anybody can then go to utopialabs.com, connect their wallet, and they can get started themselves. A few of the other DAOs that have already gotten started, and I'm checking a tweet from you guys. There was FWB, Yield Guild, Badger DAO, Alluvium, Fingerprints DAO, Tracer DAO, Pleaser DAO, and Shark DAO. Is there any reason at this point for anyone else to be getting in touch with the team? I don't know if there's any sort of custom integrations or if you guys are just looking in general for, specific partners and feedback, or should folks just get started on their own and, plug in using their wallet with the dApp?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, I think most customers can just plug in and start using it. I think that'd be most convenient for them. But as I mentioned earlier, we really love having a white glove approach with our customers. So we love when customers reach out, because we really want to, obviously, this product is nowhere, our goal is really to help DAOs scale. And I think our product right now is nowhere near making that easier, as easy as it should be. So We love talking to customers. We love understanding, what other problem we can solve for them. So, we have a lot of ideas in the pipeline that have resulted directly from, customer interaction and, them just basically telling us like, I spend 10 hours every week on this. It's so frustrating. Please just automate this, or please have some way. So if they want to reach out, we're more than happy to kind of, create some direct line of communication with, everyone on the team and be able to support them and hear them out. So yeah, definitely reach out is kind of the conclusion there.
Alex, is there any other features that you expect to be released soon? I guess question is there any additional like products to what we're doing with payroll and expense management that we should look forward to?
Yeah, I think one thing that we've noticed is a lot of DAOs, once they reach a certain capacity and size, they do tend to, incorporate or have some kind of regulatory compliance and tax compliance. And I think obviously we can't really do payroll without considering that. So we are building out a tax compliant feature, a legal compliance feature
cool.
where, so if you are incorporated and you're paying people as employees, we'll be able to generate the proper forms for you as well as do proper tax withholding and proper tax filings in your state, your local and federal levels. Currently, we're going to ship this very soon, actually, and we're currently only going to support U.S.-based corporations and U.S. employees. But if this is super useful, we're going, and because DAOs are so global, we're definitely having plans to expand this to any organization. So that's one thing that I think is a pretty big pain point that I've seen DAOs face, and I think that we'll be able to solve that pretty effectively. And the last one is kind of more on like the financial area for a DAO. I think that's been something that a lot of DAOs also have trouble with, in terms of like budgeting, in terms of making financial analysis, in terms of accounting, and we are really, really focused on that as well. Working with a lot of our customers, again, talking to them, iterating on ideas with them, and making something that they really, really find valuable to use, and that'll be also shipped very soon too. And so I think those two things I'm very, very excited for.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I remember not too long ago as I was trying to explain to like friends and colleagues, actually at Fourth Revolution Capital, trying to explain to the team, I'm like, oh yeah, Utopia, it's like Gusto, but for DAOs, or it's like Expensify, but for DAOs. Like you're sort of rolling up some really, again, familiar needs in terms of running an organization, whether it's a business or in this case a DAO, and being able to track that all on chain. So, dude, it's awesome. I'm so excited. Like it's just so cool to finally see the product go live. I knew you guys would do it, but I'm just it feels so good to see it live. Oh, and reminder to anyone, Utopia does not have a token. So just if you see anything about a token right now, that's probably scammers in your Discord. So please avoid those. But yeah, you can use Utopia right now. It's free to use. All you got to do is go to utopialabs.com. Alex, anything else that people should know about if they want to get involved with Utopia Labs or the community? I know you guys you're hiring. Any like job roles you can share that you're hiring for?
Yeah, I think for us, we're really looking for good engineers. So that's been our main focus. So yeah, if you're an engineer and you'd like to join us on our mission, we'd love to talk to you and see if there's a good fit. So
any specific type of engineer though you guys are hiring for, like full stack or front end or back end?
Yeah. I think for us, we're focusing on full stack as of now. But if you've have experience working with web apps, and I mean soon enough we're gonna probably dabble more into smart contracts and more into that kind of stuff. So I mean we might be hiring even for more skills, but I think as of now it's just kind of if you're a web developer, we'd love to see if you can get involved. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's see here. So then everyone can follow Utopia Labs for updates on the product. You can follow Alex here on Twitter as well. And just go to utopialabs.com. I mean, it's very straightforward to get started. And Also, too, if anyone has questions, you can reach out to the team. But I would love to hear from some of the DAOs. I mean, I definitely count myself in way too many DAOs right now. I'm hoping some of those will adopt this because I think it's just a more organized way to ensure that contributors get paid for their time, or in some cases for expenses. So yeah, Alex, anything else you want to share before we go?
No, I think we've touched on a lot. I just want to kind of share the link here for our careers page, just simple careers.utopialabs.com. But yeah, we're super looking forward to just helping these new form of organizations find their footing and really kind of expand to a level that we haven't really previously seen before. So yeah, we're like everyone on the team is super excited to help kind of lead this change. And yeah, we'd love for more people to join us in being a customer or just helping us join the team as well.
Alex, will you or anyone from the team be at ETH Denver in February?
Yeah, we were thinking about it. I think it's still a bit up in the air right now, but myself and Josiah might be going. I think it's cool. A bit unconfirmed right now, but I put it at like 70%.
No. I know it's up. Everybody wants to go. I myself haven't decided whether I can go yet, but I'm pretty confident someone from our team will be there. Well, hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you learned something about this. And again, if you work in a DAO or you're a part of a DAO, please share with the core team, utopialabs.com. And then if you enjoyed this and you want to learn more about DeFi, NFTs, or Web3, subscribe at DeFiDad.com. If you're also a builder, please consider getting in touch with me and my team at fourthrevolution.capital. We'd love to partner with you if you're building the future of Web3. Thanks so much, everyone. I'm going to end the broadcast here, and we'll be in a green room here in a second, Alex. So thanks, everyone. Take care.
Bye, guys.